I want to thank all of our speakers and the 10 other Rhode Island state legislators who have signed on in support of our principles and want to see an equitable cannabis industry here in Rhode Island. Now I'll open it up for questions to our legislators. Thank you.
The Attorney General has said that automatic expungement would be too onerous. I guess that was I don't know exactly. But do you have any thoughts on that and like what he said? Like, what do you think that means?
Yeah, it's a difficult process. It's difficult to do. We have an outdated system in our courts in order to identify folks. But I think that what needs to happen is don't recreate the wheel. We have done this before. Excuse me.
Sure.
There are other cities that have done this. The city of Durham, for example, is one of them that really created an innovative model to expunge everyone's records. So we really need to look outside of just what we usually do. Let's look at Massachusetts, let's look at Connecticut. There are really great solutions out there that if we have the political courage and we really want to get this done, we can just reach out and ask them, what did you do, and learn from them. There are ways to do it. We can partner with Roger Williams University and other law schools to help identify those individuals. We can categorize offenses. We can look through the court cases and files. It will take a lot of manpower. Nobody says it won't. But just because it will take a lot of manpower or power in general doesn't mean that we shouldn't do it. Thank you.
Could you give us an update on the expectation about whether there's going to be a special session and negotiating the marijuana and cannabis legislation?
Yep. I'm not high enough to know what those conversations are about or when they're even being held. But for conversations with the speaker, it's about a 70% chance that we might not be coming in. So it's just not coming in. So let's see if that happens. I'm hoping that we actually can come in and that we can get this done before the end of the year. I don't know if anyone else wants to add.
One of the main concerns surrounding legalizing marijuana is we could see an increase in teens using that, and that could also translate to more road injuries and deaths. What would you guys respond to people who that's one of the main reasons why they don't want to see, or they're nervous to see weed legalized here in the Ocean State?
Actually, I would say, and research has shown the opposite of that, right? Because what happens is that as of right now, folks are going outside and finding ways to purchase marijuana outside of the legal systems that exist because we don't have one. So people are going to their corner dealer, they're going to their friends of a friend, and that is a problem because we don't know what's in those drugs. Versus when you legalize marijuana or cannabis, right, we have a regulated industry, it's tested, and we ensure that it's safe. It doesn't have something that is not supposed to be there, right? And we ensure that it's actually safe for the users. But also, kids can't go in there and purchase it because you need there's an age requirement, you need a license when you go in, and that happens in Massachusetts, it happens in Connecticut, it happens in various places. So I can see that happening here. We have an age requirement, kids cannot be going in, and the fact of the matter is we're taking out your local dealer. Unfortunately, I understand that that's the way you make your ends meet, but this is how it needs to be. It needs to be regulated to ensure that everyone's safe when consuming.
Can I ask about the co-ops? Why only 50%? Why not like 100%? A brand new industry that can do establish an entirely new model here and not do anything like it's being done anywhere else and nothing like it's been done the old way. Is there a reason for the 50% number, or is it just because that's what you think you can get?
I think 50% is a good start.
Yeah.
I think we can work. In my world, we start at 50 and we work our way up.
Okay.
So that's why I support the 50%. I think it's better to go up rather than go down when it comes to something like this. And it's a great model.
Yeah.
So
I like the co-ops. That's why I asked.
Can someone define using that 50% social equity portion? What are we referring to there? Who qualifies?
Yeah, so actually the current definitions in the bills are pretty comprehensive and detailed. They include individuals who have been directly impacted, incarcerated, or from communities who have been disproportionately impacted by cannabis prohibition and over-policing. and there are time requirements for how long somebody has lived in that community. But the basis for being a social equity applicant would be being an individual or living in a community that has been disproportionately impacted by over-policing and the drug war.
In other words, not an outside investor from out of state who's trying to make a quick buck off cannabis like we saw in Colorado shortly after they legalized.
Is that what you're seeing in most of the other states?
Yes, most states that have not taken the time to actually invest